Joining us now, Anthony Coley, former director of the Office of Public Affairs at the Department of Justice and former senior advisor to Merrick Garland, and former GOP communications director Tara Setmeyer. She is the co-founder and CEO of the Seneca Project. Anthony, I want to start with you, because I want to throw up some tweets, and we showed these yesterday, and I think we should be showing them over and over again. These are from the FBI director, the deputy FBI director, and the attorney general. No one is above the law. FBI agents on mission. America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. Bongino, public corruption will not be tolerated. These were around the time when Bolton's home and office were being searched. Talk a little bit about how different, strange that is, along with Ed Martin's.
Right.
If we can't name them, if we can't charge them, we will name them and shame them. That's not how it works.
It is not how it works. The key difference between Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 are the people. He learned this fundamental truth about Washington, which is that people are policy, right? And Trump 1.0, he had adults in the room who would resist his worst instincts. It's kind of like, Eugene, it's kind of like, have you ever been bowling with a child and they have these bumpers along the side of the bowling alley?
Not too much of the bumpers.
Well, that was Trump 1.0. They had adults in the room. Trump 2.0 is different, right? In Trump 1.0, you had people like principal conservatives. We're talking the Bill Barr and Jeff Sessions. They were conservatives, and they carried a lot of water for Trump, but they had lines that they wouldn't cross, right? Bill Barr rightly rejected Trump's big lie about the 2020 election. Jeff Sessions appropriately recused himself from overseeing DOJ's investigation of Russian interference in 2016. That Trump got rid of that model in Trump 2.0. Now he has people, tweeting stuff that you put on the screen, like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. And for them, it's about loyalty. And Jonathan and I have talked about this before. Loyalty actually isn't strong enough word. It's about blind obedience, right? And so
that's seen as blind obedience.
Exactly. And so what's supposed to happen at DOJ is that the facts and the law lead the way with regard to any criminal or civil investigation. These people have turned that on their head, and they're starting the process with the end in mind. And they're taking steps to try to get the headlines that they want. Facts be damned, law be damned. And that's why we're seeing these type of tweets and these so-called investigations of the 12 or 15 people that you put on the screen when the facts, in many cases, just don't warrant it.
Tara, the read, I'm just wondering, we haven't seen the affidavit, the legal justification for this raid on Ambassador Bolton's home on Friday. Was it Friday? Thursday. Yeah, on Friday. Time has...
It's flat circle, baby.
Oh, Lord. But why... So we don't know the legal basis for this raid. That being said, why shouldn't we view the raid on Ambassador Bolton's home as just pure retribution in the way that the president promised during his presidential campaign?
There's no other way to categorize this other than actual pure retribution. Donald Trump said, "I will be your retribution." He's literally living this out. He's retribution personified. And John Bolton is an easy target. He's been raging actually against John Bolton for 6 years. Ever since he left his administration, he was fired by tweet. He wrote a book, and he's been an outspoken critic. What's happening to John Bolton should send shivers down everyone's spine, because no one is safe. No one. When you have sycophants like Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, and the list goes on and on and on, practically everyone in his administration, with the levers of power at their disposal, they can do this to anyone. And I think it's really important that we call it straight about what this actually is, because it's not just John Bolton. But what's happening to Bolton is, once again, just a microcosm of what Donald Trump wants to do to anyone who criticizes him. It's with John Bolton on one hand, and then it's militarizing our cities that are run by Black mayors, which is the through line right now, in another. Like, he's doing this from multiple areas where he's trying to assert his power as a dictator, not as the president of the United States, not as someone who answers to the American people. He's throwing our constitutional order on its head, and he is aided and abetted by the Republican Party writ large. And that is the problem.
Jonathan, what's interesting to me about this court-authorized search on Friday is the timing of it, right? You know, think about the Justice Department has a great deal of leeway about when it goes to a court and asks for a search warrant. And
the bar's pretty low.
The bar is there is a standard, right? But what's also interesting is that once a court authorizes a search, they give DOJ certain latitude about when to execute that search. They don't micromanage it. And so it is curious to me that on the day that the Epstein files are due to Congress, when we later find out in the day that there's not going to be very much there, that they decide that they're going to execute this search warrant. It is not a coincidence. There are 365 days in the year, and you're going to choose this day to execute this search warrant. I think this is what Tara was talking about. It just the process it doesn't feel right. Something's amiss here.
Well, Anthony, legally, I wonder if, as these cases, whether it's John Bolton's or any of these other folks, if they get charged by the DOJ, will the judges be able to separate everything we're talking about, where Trump has talked about, I will be your retribution, you know, Kash Patel has an enemies list in a book that was published. Will they be able to separate that from the things that the folks are charged with, the allegations? Do you know what I mean? Because the idea that those things are connected, as we're talking, feels obvious to a lot of folks, but legally,
right? So
is there something there?
That is absolutely the right question, but we're hamstringed in answering because we don't know what we don't know, right? It's important to point out here that
how bad the allegation,
right? Like we talked about these standards, right? We have not seen the search warrant itself, and we haven't seen the underlying affidavit, which will give us some substantive rationale for why two separate judges in two separate jurisdictions authorized this search. So I am skeptical for all the reasons I just said, for the reasons that Tara just mentioned. But there is this yellow exclamation point in my mind. Like, I want to see the substance of why these judges allowed these searches to go forward.
Tara, let's talk more about the Jeffrey Epstein case, and in particular, the interview that Trump's former personal attorney and now the number 2 at the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, the conversation he had with Ghislaine Maxwell. He says that the release of the audio and transcripts of their sit-down was in the interest of transparency. And yet the Department of Justice is still blocking efforts to release the actual Jeffrey Epstein files, which provide all the information that everybody would like to see and know. I would just love to hear your thoughts on, why did Todd Blanche go and have this conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell, especially when he wasn't the frontline prosecutor? He was not involved in this case at all.
Right. Let's remind everyone who Todd Blanche is. He's Donald Trump's former defense attorney. Donald Trump took his former defense team and put them in places in the federal government, particularly the Department of Justice. And now one is has a federal judgeship life. Okay, so there's nothing transparent about this. There's nothing above board about this. He has installed all of these people to give him cover where he needs it, when he needs it, and Todd Blanche is doing that. So everyone knows how unusual it was for Todd Blanche to go as a deputy AG to go and conduct this interview. If it was really about transparency and about the survivors, which is what it should always be about, because they are now being re-victimized by watching Ghislaine Maxwell being treated as some type of star witness that could possibly reveal the information that we all need. She's a convicted child sex trafficker. She's a monster. She should be rotting in prison for what she did. She didn't just lure these women into this sex trafficking operation with Jeffrey Epstein. She participated as well. People forget this. And Todd Blanche was treating her as if she has some type of valid information and that she's a credible witness. She's a liar. She's someone who's still not taking responsibility for what she did. And instead of releasing the information carte blanche like they should have, like they promised. I mean, Pam Bondi bragged about the files being on her desk, and they have the ability to release all of it, and they're not. They're obfuscating for a reason because there's something that scares the hell out of them, particularly Donald Trump, in those files. And instead, they're treating someone as despicable as Ghislaine Maxwell, as someone who deserves any type of privilege, being moved into a prison camp, being treated as like given the Real Housewives treatment in prison. This woman molested and sexually abused and trafficked women, young girls and children. She should be rotting in prison, not being given treatment and even consideration for a pardon or a commutation, no less, because it gives cover to Donald Trump.
Let's be clear. I mean, it's a prison camp, but it's really a club fed for a convicted child sex trafficker.